Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to more lore and loot, Morrowind. We have now completed every normal assignment for the Morag Tong. From now on, we will be getting our assignments directly from Grandmaster Eno Hlaalu. After reaching the rank of White Thrall, he will have special duties for us. These can be started anytime after reaching the rank of White Thrall, and you don't have to wait until you finish all of the writs. But for the purposes of continuity, I thought it would be better to do it this way. Speaking to the Grandmaster, he will tell us that he has learned that the Dark Brotherhood is operating in Morrowind, specifically here in Vvardenfell. He wants us to contact the Dark Brotherhood. Asking for further details about the Dark Brotherhood, he will say that the Dark Brotherhood is a splinter group that rebelled against the Morag Tong many years ago. The two organizations are now enemies. However, he knows of an Argonian, Mune Gay, who happens to be a Mehrunes Dagon cultist, who has a contact in the Dark Brotherhood. We are to go to this Mune Gay, get the name of this contact, and return to the Grandmaster with that name. This begins the Morag Tong quest. Contact the Dark Brotherhood. Our journal updates. Grandmaster Eno Hlaalu believes that Mune Gay might know how to contact the Dark Brotherhood. He is an enchanter in the lower wasteworks of the Foreign Quarter. When I get a name from Mune Gay, I shall report back to the Grandmaster. The story of the Dark Brotherhood is complicated, to say the least, with many different and often contradictory accounts given the origins of the organization and why it split from the Morag Tong. What is known is that the Dark Brotherhood and Morag Tong split happened many years ago, and that the Dark Brotherhood has been operating all throughout Tamriel for hundreds of years. We know, for example, that the Dark Brotherhood was active during the years of the Imperial Simulacrum, when Yeager Tharn ruled the Empire. Regardless, the full story of the Dark Brotherhood will have to wait for another day, as we have a task. Mune Gay is indeed found in the Foreign Quarter, in the Wasteworks level. He owns a small shop here off to the side, where he sells various enchanted items.
I must be going, so if you could make it quick.
If we greet him and attempt to discuss the Dark Brotherhood, but his disposition towards us is not high enough, he will respond by questioning whether he can trust us or not. We need to get him high enough so that he will spill the beans. We can do this by persuading him with a nice bribe, or we can even do his quest, which is called Annoying Fool. We will actually focus on the unmarked quest of Vivek in a different video, so for now we will bribe him with some septums. Anything over 70 should do. Once he is convinced that we are not a guard, he will reveal the name of his source. His contact is a Khajiit named Sra Zami. She hangs around the Plaza district of the Foreign Quarter. Our journal updates. I spoke with Mune Gay and asked for his contact in the Dark Brotherhood. Mune Gay told me to speak with Sra Zami, a Khajiit who is also in the foreign quarter. I should report her name to the Grandmaster. Alternatively, if you do not have the gold or the persuasion skills to convince the Argonian, you can sneak into his personal area. Here, we will find a chest of drawers, which are locked with a level 80 lock. We can pick these drawers open and find a few interesting things. First, we find a letter from Srazami telling Myungay to send any potential recruits to her. This method does not update our journal, but at least we have a name. In the drawers, we also find some gold and 2 rings. The ring of Black Hand and the ring of 5 Fingers of Pain, both of which are very decent destruction rings. We'll take them both for our troubles. If your lockpick skill is not high enough, you can also pickpocket Myungay for the key to both the chest of drawers and the locked closet. Inside is where the shopkeeper keeps most of his magical inventory. We could rob the poor lizard blind, but we don't need to do this right now. We're Morag Tong, not Thieves Guild, after all. Now, at this point, we could return to Grandmaster Eno Hlaalu with the name he asked for, but to get the full reward, we will need to take some initiative. Let's look for this Dark Brotherhood member. You may be surprised to learn that the Khajiit in question is one we have walked past many times before, and we never even suspected her. Well, as soon as we enter, we make eye contact. Suspecting something is up, she immediately starts walking away, making her way into the crowd. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Obviously, we can't talk about the Dark Brotherhood right next to an ordinator. We would both be hauled off and questioned thoroughly, and then sent off to Solstheim to mine some Stalrim for the rest of our lives.
What Khajiit do for you?
No. We gotta wait. Once we finally make our way away from the guard, we can finally speak with the Khajiit. Now, with her disposition low, we can't expect much from her. If we ask about the Dark Brotherhood and tell her we want someone dead, her disposition drops by 10 points, basically calling us a racist for seeing a Khajiit and assuming they are in the Dark Brotherhood. Similarly, if we tell her we want to know about the Dark Brotherhood, she will basically tell us to kick rocks. No. We need to get her disposition high, like 90 or higher. Then we can ask again. This time, telling her we want to know about the Dark Brotherhood, she responds with telling us that she will speak with our Grandmaster. Yeah, just like that. Now we can return to Grandmaster Hlaalu and inform him of our success. He will be pleased and will reward us with 2 scrolls of Inasi's Mystic Finger, which is a telekinesis spell, and 2 scrolls of invisibility. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the full story of the Morag Tong quest. Contact the Dark Brotherhood. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the special duties quests that Grandmaster Hlaalu has for us. And, as always, thank you for watching, and see you next time.